Hey guys. Okay, we're just having some technical difficulties this morning, so give us a minute as we get everything set up. We are going to be looking at our website tools. We're just going to let a couple more people join us as we get started. I apologize for this very trippy video. We're going to show live versions of the website, so we have to kind of do a workaround, so it's not ideal, but we'll make it work for now. So just give us a second to get started. And as we're waiting for people to join, if you want to go ahead and tell us who you are and where you're from, we'd love to know who we're talking to. So give us just maybe like 2 more minutes and we'll get started showing you some of our website tools. Also, remember throughout this session, you can always post your questions in the chat and we will answer them live, or we'll answer them as we're in the chat box back to you. So the more questions you ask, the more helpful the video is later for anyone else that wasn't able to join us live today. So give us just a second. Oh, hey, Mike. How's it going? Mike. Okay. Hold on one second. Hey, Ray. All right. Phyllis is here. We got lots of people from all over the state looking like, ooh, Pottsboro. I don't even know.
Probably outside of Dallas.
I should know where it is. I'm sorry, Lainey. I should know. Okay. All right. Looks like we get some more and more people joining us today. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get started with introductions, and then we'll get started with showing you some more of the video. So my name is Christine Anderson. I am the Public Affairs Specialist for the Texas Real Estate Commission. Actually, I'm the Public Affairs and Communications Manager for the Texas Real Estate Commission as well as the Appraiser Board. I am joined this morning by Denise Sample, who is our new Licensing and Registration Services Division Director.
Yes, that's right.
Denise was recently promoted after the retirement of our very long-serving Gwen Jackson, as many of you may have worked with her. So Denise is very excited to join us today and extremely knowledgeable. So I thought she'd be a great resource to have with us today as we go through some of these tools, as she was extremely involved in the development of the website as well as these tools that we're going to show you today. Let's see. Okay, more people joining in on the session today. Oh, wow. San Angelo, Arlington. Oh, Lainey confirmed. Yes, north of Dallas.
Yes,
Denise knows
Dallas.
her Texas. So El Paso. Wow, we've got all over the state. Well, I'm so glad that everyone took some time out of their day to join us. So first of all, we wanted to kind of show you a little bit about our website and talk about what our session, what our tools are available on our website. We have kind of recently launched several new tools that make life much easier for our license holders when they're applying or renewing, or simple tasks that you used to have to wait for TREC to publish or complete. They're now done automatically on our website, and we recognize that maybe some people didn't know that we've launched those tools. So we thought we'd go ahead and do a quick walkthrough for you of those, and then you guys can ask your questions. So first things first, TREC launched our new website about two years ago now. Maybe 2.5 years ago. It was a very long-term project that we were able to launch a much more user-friendly and interactive website. And since then, we've been working towards building new tools that make your life easier. So
kind of self-service tools that allow you to manage simple things related to your license or application.
Right, exactly. So this is based on feedback from people that call into the agency and ask questions. We kind of prioritize the projects based on that. So that being said, let's go ahead and dive into some of the things that are available on the website. First, I'm going to check to see if anyone has any questions. Conroe, wow, more and more people joining us today. All right, well, welcome everyone. And just a quick reminder, you are welcome to post your questions in the chat, and that way then Denise and I can answer your questions as we go along. We'll be checking it throughout the presentation, so please feel free to do so, okay? Are any of these newer than the last week and a half? No, Alicia, actually, well, we haven't launched anything in the last 10 days.
We have not launched anything in the last week and a half.
Yeah, but most of the tools are within the last six months. We've launched things, and most people that join or come to our website actually really only come to our website every 2 years. Yeah. So we're betting that a lot of people haven't seen this stuff. So okay, first things first. Let's go to. Here's the announcement we sent out that listed all of the tools that we're going to be covering today. First thing that we want to talk about today is license history print. This tool was kind of a collaboration of a bunch of our different staff who realized that Denise's staff was spending a lot of time going through to create what we call a license history. This is used for people that are applying for licenses outside of the state usually.
Yep, generally.
But it was extremely tedious. So a simple solution our staff came up with was on our license holder search. If you were to put in your name or anyone else's name, you can now access that print license history button right here from our license holder search. And that will allow you to just go ahead. When you print that, it'll create a certified document or an official document. I shouldn't say certified.
A license history that just pulls information that's already stored in our database that we were producing manually. So now any member of the public actually can pull it on a license holder whose license has been expired less than 4 years. They can generate this on demand 24 hours a day, and it's got all the same information that is stored in our database.
And it used to take weeks to get that?
It used to be, around 10 to 15 business days
right.
to, from when we got the request in the mail to complete
issuing
the document.
It. Yeah, so much shorter.
Much shorter turnaround time with this.
Now, one question we typically get is, will this show my active and inactive status?
No, active and inactive history is still very, it's manually done because that's kind of information you have to confirm, dates of sponsorship, dates of active time. It's not easily just extracted from the system the way the straight, forward license history is. So the active and inactive history is still prepared by a human, and we still process those by regular mail, as well as the sponsorship history.
Okay.
So a history for a sales agent of every broker who has sponsored that sales agent.
And who would be needing that kind of information?
Really, any license holder who wants to confirm that they've got active experience time, if that's required for a broker license, or a sales agent wanting to get the history of all the brokers that have ever sponsored them. What people may not be aware of is business entities are sponsored by designated brokers. It's technically a sponsoring relationship. So a business entity can also request a sponsorship history to show how many, the history of their designated brokers.
Oh, well,
that's business entity license.
That's helpful. Yeah. I would assume even, if a business transferred ownership from one to the other, they might want that as just historical information.
Yeah, and we can prepare that in a certified document.
Okay, but that's not available via the website for the license print tool. So the license history print tool is available for any of our license holders.
TREC licenses.
Yep, that TREC license holders that, so that includes inspectors too, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so, and they can print that off automatically in a PDF. It's on official letterhead from the Real Estate Commission. And it has been satisfying most other states.
Yeah, we've gotten questions from license holders who have indicated that a particular state won't accept our new license history. In those cases, we've reached out to the other state and explained, that this is a new document. I think they're probably used to seeing our old format.
Right.
And all of the states that I'm aware of that we've contacted have agreed to accept.
Oh, that's great.
Our online license history for someone trying to obtain a license in their state.
Okay. Let's see if there's any new questions. Okay. Nope. Just some more people. Oh, wow. Garland, Frisco, Brownsville. Well, we're excited to have you guys all on here. Okay, so moving on from license history print, the next tool that we'd like to talk to you today about is our name management tool. This tool was probably launched last year, I believe in the spring of last year. So it's been up for a while and working, but we never really highlighted it. So we thought we'd join it in with some of our newer tools that we've launched in the last 6 months. So this name management tool is available through our the website. If you go and you log in up here using your name and username, I decided to pretend I was our chair, Avis Wukash, today. And when you go to log into your online services, right here, you're going to see that you can access your name management tool if you are a broker. It's only available for brokers.
Right.
So if you're a broker and you want to manage, for advertising purposes or, just create new entities, or I believe their sales agent has alternate names that they're using, correct?
Yes. Alternate names are names added to an individual's license record. Like if, Christine, but you want to go by CC professionally,
right?
That is an alternate name, or your middle name if you'd like to use that. The name management tool is for team names,
right?
And assumed business names, or DBAs. And what else do we have on there in the name management tool?
We will go ahead and look at the page so that you can see we have DBAs, we have team names, and we have alternate names available to be able to manage on this tool. So once you go to our website, log in, go to online services, like how you would go to renew your license, one of the selection options available will be name management tool. Again, only if you're a broker. If you're an agent, this tool is not available to you. But if you're an agent that needs to register a name, you could have your broker do so, and this is how they would do it. So they can go navigate to this page, and here you can see the list of all of the team names and group names that that this broker, Avis Wukash, has available to her. And then she can go through and manage them by either editing the name or designating them as a DBA versus an alternate name. We had a lot of data cleanup that needed to happen because people were labeling things incorrectly. So what we also did is we provided some great information about what each type of name was on this tool so that people kind of didn't have to guess.
Right. And they can easily change between a DBA, and reclassify it correctly if it's actually a team name.
And what's great about this is the tool is actually pretty intuitive, as well as it won't allow you to name something a team name if it can't be named that. So for example, if you do not have the word team or group at the end of the name, it will not allow you to designate that as a team name, which is pretty helpful. It kind of stops you from making mistakes. And it allows you to organize your tools in buckets so that you can see what each name is from this list. So here's your DBAs, here's your team names. And then if Avis had any alternate names that she had registered, they'd be down here. So the great thing is about doing this is that it's automatically updated in our database, correct?
Yep. Once you go through and confirm the changes, it changes our database on the back end.
Yeah, so it's you don't have to wait for us to process anything. You're not submitting a request. You're actually updating your record right away. So again, it's instead of waiting for us to process something, you are kind of in control of managing all of this information for your brokerage, which is, I think, extraordinarily helpful. So again, if anyone has questions, you can post them over here so that you can, thank you for adding the share button. I think she's referring to being able to share this video. So, so that being said, I don't know if we have necessarily any questions about the name management tool. So going back to our list of new tools that we're looking at, and something that I think is the one that affects the most people and people would be the most excited about, although I'm not sure.
We're excited about it.
We're excited about it for sure. It took us how many years?
Just a few.
Just a few. It took us a lot of work because of the specifics around CE and requirements for renewal.
Well, and we wanted to make sure we had it right.
Right.
We didn't want to put information out there that was incorrect.
So the latest tool that we've launched is the Renewal Education Information tool on our website. So this tool is available for anyone within their renewal period. So that's within 90 days of their license expiring.
And up to 6 months after.
Up to 6 months afterwards. They can go, if you go to license holder search, again, most of this is accessible to the public. So if you were to put in your name and you're going to look up yourself, I looked up an agent here who's within his renewal period. And he looked up himself, or you looked up a friend, or if you're a broker and you're looking up your agents to make sure they're ready to renew, you put in their information, and right here next, just below your print license history button is now only if you're within your renewal period or 6 months after, this button will appear, this View Renewal Education Information.
And right now it's only available for sales agents and brokers.
Yes, that we want to make that
who are
clear
in
too.
their renewal period. We're rolling it out to the rest soon.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. So no, that's okay. I'm glad you brought it up. So one of the reasons we got this up as fast as we did was we limited the people that had access to it. We decided, you know what, let's try to get this out to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. So we decided to launch this with a limited group of people. So again, the people that are most affected by being able to figure out what CE they needed were the people that were about to renew or just expired, and they need to make sure that they can get their renewal done. Mm-hmm. So that's why we launched with this. We're soon and already working on trying to launch this tool for all license holders so that they could see the CE and for the last 2 years or that renewal period and see what they need to take for their next renewal. But for right now, we're keeping it just to people that are already within their renewal, that means that a renewal application has been opened in our system, and thus you can now actually renew your license.
Right.
So that being said, this View Renewal Education Information button will show up if it's not available to you, it's not there. And then you will, oh, sorry, that's the wrong thing. You're going to click on View Renewal Education Information, and then you can see that this person, their expiration date is right here, and it says, yep, my continuing education is not completed. So we've made it pretty simple.
Yeah, we tried to make it clear for anyone viewing the page. There's not too much text. That way you can see right away whether or not we show that you've completed it or not.
Yeah. So again, I think there's some other organizations that have tried to do this, but this is the first time that the Real Estate Commission has officially launched something that shows you specifically for your renewal what you need to do and what you need to take. Mm-hmm. So that being said, let's walk through the page a little bit. So what we decided to do was highlight the non-elective continuing education, things like Legal Update 1 and 2. You have to take that no matter what. So even if you had 34 out of 18 CE hours completed for your renewal, if you don't have Legal Update 1 and 2 done, we're still highlighting that and showing that to you so that you're not confused about, well, I have 34 credits, so I'm good. But in actuality, you still need to take the Legal 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. So here's your total for your renewal period. So your continuing education is 0 out of 18. This person hasn't completed their CE yet. And then we also explain a little bit more about how to renew your license, active versus inactive, paying what we call the CE deferral fee, which is if you haven't completed your CE by the time that you need to renew, you can pay a $200 CE deferral fee, remain active, and have, how long? 60 days?
It grants you 60 additional days where your license is active and you've got that time to complete the required hours.
Right. But you can still renew on time and your license is active. So it's kind of a convenience fee so that you don't have to worry about getting your CE completed or processed in that time. We highly recommend you do your CE well before your expiration date so that we can get everything processed and completed in time so you don't have to run into paying that fee. We say how many days before your license expires?
Definitely allow a minimum of 10 business days before your license expiration date, especially if you're a business entity that's renewing the license, where there are documents that we have to review in order to issue the renewal.
Okay. So let's see. I'm going to see if there's any new questions. Are you going to do more videos like this? It's a great idea. Yes, Sue, we actually do this about once a month. I try to get on here with one of our awesome staff members and host some events that talk about different topics. So we're just kind of creating things as we go, but we try to do this about once a month, as we think it's really helpful for our license holders and the public to just be able to ask us questions in a less formal format. So yes, we are here and doing these more often. Okay, so let's go back to the continuing education renewal information. So again, this tool, let's go over the highlights one last time before I move off of this, unless anyone else has any questions. This tool is available for real estate agents and brokers.
Correct.
Who are within their renewal period.
So that's 90 days before your expiration date and up to 6 months after your expiration date.
Okay. And it will clearly state what education is required. And if they submitted their education the night before and then come onto this tool.
So it is a live representation of our database. And if your provider posted it at midnight, you should be able to see your education listed at 12:01.
Right. So as long as your provider has submitted the documentation to us about you taking that CE, it should be on our website.
Right.
So if it's not showing on our website, is the first people they call us or the provider?
I would contact the provider, but keep in mind that you have, or the provider has 10 business days to transmit that information to us. I don't think any of them wait that long, but the first point of contact should be the provider.
Yeah. Just so that you guys save you guys some time worrying about that question, whether or not, well, I thought I took this course. It should be here if you've taken it and the provider has given it to us. So one more thing, I noticed that because this person that I used as an example hasn't taken any education, it's not showing up here. But typically what we'll do is, you can see here, courses counted towards the license holder's current renewal cycle. As you take your courses, those courses will list. So we'll show each course and course name as you go through your renewal or as you start to get your CE counted towards that renewal. So if you have 6 out of 18, you might have like 3 courses listed below that should show up. So we also specify that. Now this information all of your education was already provided on our license holder search. What this page does is basically show you specifically for this renewal what you need to do. I think that was one of our biggest questions was like, yeah, I know that is on there, but it doesn't really help me because I'm not sure which course is counted for this renewal versus the last renewal. So that's really what this page is all about, is kind of showing you what you need to do for this renewal. So let's go back to our list of, and
check for any more questions.
Oh yeah, we should check.
Since this is the newest one.
This is great. Okay. So yeah, it's really helpful. We think it's really helpful. I would say that this where is my CE is probably one of our biggest questions that people call us about.
Yeah. How many hours do I still need to renew?
Yeah.
Those are common questions that we're hoping this tool will answer for us.
And I mean, still feel free to call us anytime. We're happy to answer the questions, but I think it's really helpful to have this available for all of our license holders. Well, all of our real estate brokers and sales agent license holders. And hopefully this will be rolled out just like the other tool for
any other licenses that require continuing education to renew. That is the plan, to roll it out for the rest.
Yeah. So hopefully soon we'll have more of that. So moving on, let's go ahead and talk about our new customer satisfaction survey. So I would say about 2 months ago, I would have to remember the date specifically, our new division director for reception and communication services, he came on board and really was interested in helping get a more complex and more interactive customer satisfaction survey on the website. I mean, it was all of our interest, but he really led the really wanting to make sure that customer satisfaction was at the forefront of our interaction with our license holders. So we launched this new survey, this revamped survey, to really allow you to kind of give us our feedback on each way you could interact with us. So let's go ahead and look at it here. It's on our website, but it's also linked in most of the staff's footer, where we say, from Christine Anderson, just below that, it'll have a link to it.
Our email signature.
Thank you. Email signature. That's it. That's why we have her here. I am right on top of it. Anyway, the email signature will have it, as well as on several locations on our website, there'll be pop-up things that say, like, give us your feedback, specifically on contact us page, as well as a couple of other pages throughout the website, to encourage people to give us their feedback. So through this survey, you're able to give us, who you are, how often you've contacted us, and what way you've contacted us. And this allows us to provide more information, not only to staff, but also to the commission about who's reaching out to us, what kind of questions do they have, and are they happy with the answers they're getting. So we just kind of wanted to highlight this as this is a new customer service or satisfaction survey on the website. We want to make sure that people know about it and are using it, as it's a great tool for us to be able to continue to develop tools and services that will improve your experience with the Real Estate Commission. So please, by all means, fill out that survey. I will actually link to the survey. I'll copy and paste this into here so that you all can link to it and give your feedback here. Okay. Where's the education information? Okay, sorry, Chauncey, I just saw your question. You can access the education information for your renewal information using our license holder search. You're going to put in your name or somebody that you're looking up. Let's say you're a broker for a brokerage and you're looking up your agents. You can put in your name here. And as long as you're within your 90-day renewal period or within 6 months of expiration after, you can access that renewal education information. That button will appear. It will not be there or available unless you are within those 90 days before your expiration date. I hope that answers your question, Chauncey. Okay, that's the customer satisfaction survey. And then the last thing, the thing that I think we get, is that our number one question?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the most common. Yeah.
So the thing I'm saving for the last is the question that we get most asked about, and it's because probably people don't know how to interact with us, or they're new to the business, or they just don't know what to expect, and that's the initial application status. So somebody that's applying for a real estate agent license, and it's their first time applying, and they submitted the paperwork, and then the question is always, what are you guys waiting for? Where is this application in the process? Have you guys gotten my documents? What are you guys waiting on for me?
Yeah.
And so we launched this tool about 4 or 5 months ago.
No.
Sorry.
Early March. And it's a similar rollout to a lot of our other online tools, in that we're starting with initial sales agent applications.
Yeah. So
it's our initial most
sales.
Voluminous type of application.
Right. I mean, most people are applying for an initial sales agent license. That's the biggest group. So again, we're trying to make the most impact for the most people and get the tools out there as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go to... So first of all, let me navigate through this for you. So how are you going to access your application status tracker? Well, it's actually on our homepage now. So here, this tool or this Become Licensed section is either Register Now, which is somebody that's going to register an online account with us first. They haven't even submitted an online application, versus I want to check the status of my application.
Right.
So they're going to click on this, and you're going to see that this new button or this search box comes in, and then you can search by name, email, phone number, and you can look up an application. Again, this is available to the public. So if you're a broker that is trying to onboard an agent and the agent's like, I've done everything and TREC is just not following up with me, you as the broker can go ahead and look them up and see if they have completed everything, so that you can kind of move things along or help them along in the process as well, which I think is really helpful. Yeah. So, and that also education providers, this tool is extraordinarily helpful for you as you're trying to help initial applicants through the process of applying. Have they completed all their education? This tool shows that. So let's pretend that you have signed in. I looked up anyone with the last name Smith and kind of wanted to show you some examples. So this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the application tracker, and this is how you'll search through it. And I went ahead and pulled up people with the last name Smith. And let's say I am Mary Catherine here, and I'm looking for the status of my application. You can see here what we've done is giving you a visual representation of the check boxes. These check boxes, items. Yeah, these required items are not required in a certain order. So again, I'll show you some examples of people that maybe have the last thing done and the second thing done, but not some others. It shows you what you need to do and what each item is. So again, here, your documents have received. We show you what that is, what we mean by documents received, whether or not you've been approved for the exam, whether or not we've gotten your fingerprints, your background check information, and whether or not you've passed your exam. Last thing you'll see is down here we say license issued, no or yes. It's pretty simple. But again, you can see here that there's some other examples of people in different parts of the application process. And something else. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was going to point out another important piece of information on the application status tracker is the application expiration date. Applications are valid for 1 year from when they're filed. And so we decided to put it front and center so you're aware of the deadline to meet all of the requirements for a license.
Yeah, which is really helpful. I think a lot of the times people, they forget the date that they applied, or they think they have more time. This kind of puts it at the forefront, like you have until this date to get all of this done.
Right.
And it's pretty helpful. So you can see here, this person is almost done. This person has everything done. Their license is now issued. So you can see, depending on what part of the process you're in, there'll be different parts checked off. And we think this tool is extraordinarily helpful. I don't know if you guys have noticed a big difference. And
we've gotten a lot of positive feedback about it. But we need that feedback, in case there are items that we may need to change to make it even better or more useful. We welcome that.
Okay, so Christopher says, he had no idea that the application status tracker existed. Well, yay, I'm glad you now know about it. It's pretty helpful. And I think that so that's the reason we're doing these kinds of sessions, is we recognize that maybe you don't read all of the press releases that come to your inbox or all the articles from TREC, even though I highly recommend you read everything from us. These kinds of sessions are extraordinarily helpful for all of our license holders to kind of know what we're up to and what services we have available. So I'm so glad that helped, Christopher. I think that tool is extraordinarily helpful. All of them are in different ways for different audiences, different types of people, but we're really excited about that tool.
Well, the application status tracker, I'd say, is even more helpful, and this type of video is more helpful because, a license holder who needs to find out what education is required to renew, they've interacted with us. Yeah. You've been to our website before. You have an online account in all likelihood. An initial sales agent applicant has never really interacted with TREC, probably. Prior to submitting an application. So this is a real helpful way, instead of just writing paragraphs and paragraphs on what all the requirements are. We're hoping that this tool is helpful for someone who's just starting to get involved with TREC.
Yeah. So okay, I'm going to open this up to anyone that has any questions or ideas for new tools that we should be working on, or feedback on the things that you've done already. We really want to make sure and encourage you all to kind of take ownership of your license. It's your license, it's your livelihood. We recognize that that waiting on us to process a document, affects your livelihood. And so we're trying to, the best we can, respond to that kind of feedback and get things done faster and easier and more simply than ever before, I think.
Still complying with all the requirements.
While still complying with everything, as Denise, our division director extraordinaire, makes sure I remember, everything does comply with all the requirements, which is really helpful. Right. I think, some of the providers might have had, a checklist, like a printable checklist or something, or, some of the local associations may have had some help, but this is nice because it's officially from TREC. It's, that you can count on it. Starting on online classes with an ACEable agent soon. Any advice? Well, Candace, we can't really give you advice about a provider as we license them. So we can't, tell you which ones are good ones or not.
But my advice to you, as someone who's working towards getting the license, is go ahead and apply. Applications are open and valid for 1 year from when you submit them. So there's no reason to wait until you've completed all the coursework to submit your application. The sooner you apply, you are in our system of record. Anytime you call us, we can leave notes and document any phone conversations you've had or any emails that you've submitted to us. If you haven't applied yet, what we can give you is generalized information. So that would be my biggest advice, is you don't have to wait until you've completed all 6 classes before you apply.
Yeah. And it also allows you to kind of already have access to that application status tracker, get things checked off that you need to as you go through the courses. Right. But yeah, as far as, I'm not sure if you were asking about advice about ACEable agent. I can tell you we do have on our website some great tools for education providers, looking up information about education providers. And that information, I believe, is under the education button here. You can look at provider exam passage rates. That kind of will give you an idea if a provider is meeting the requirements for, or like how well the students are doing after taking the classes, if they're passing the exam the first time, or if they're taking a couple of times. It might be a good resource for you to check out as you start to look at places to take your coursework at. So that's a helpful tool. I'm not sure if you guys knew about that one. I call it a tool. It's a page on the website.
But you can apply without having taken any classes yet.
Yeah. Okay, so does anyone else have any other questions, concerns, thoughts, feedback? I will leave the comments open on this after we close out this session so that y'all can kind of, if you think of a question, you're always welcome to post it there. I am the person that runs our Facebook and social media pages.
Social media.
Yes.
Extraordinary.
Oh, yes, very much. But I enjoy what I do and I like helping people. So if you have a question, feel free to post it on our Facebook page. Send me an email. You can do that. My email address is christine.anderson@trec.texas.gov. I'm always happy to answer your questions. If I can't answer it, I'm sure Denise can. And if she can't, we'll make sure we find somebody that can.
Right.
Not to put too much pressure on you.
No pressure. We will find someone who can answer your question.
And any book recommendations? Again, Candace, we can't really recommend specific books or providers or any information like that. But I would, when you look at your provider and choose your provider, I'm sure the provider will help you find books that they recommend you use, right? Like we can't.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not really sure.
That's kind of out of our
recommendation.
Yeah. Purview. Although Candace, I'm thinking you're looking for like studying for an exam. Again, I believe a lot of the providers will have all of that information and materials for exam prep available within their services. So I would just pick a really good provider or somebody that you've checked out on our website to make sure that they're licensed and that they're in good standing, and that you can check their passage rate information and, go for it. Oh, Kate's asking for my email again. Sorry about that. I'll put it in here for you, Kate, but it's christine.anderson@trec.texas.gov. And sorry, it's hard to talk and type. Okay. And, oh, wait. Okay. Okay. Somebody's talking about book,
No?
about Candace, I'm sorry, about real estate, not the provider. Oh, book recommendations about real estate. Again, if you're looking for like educational books, like about a topic, we don't, again, the providers typically choose the content for their courses. That's kind of out of my purview, but if you want to send me a specific question via email, I can definitely get one of our staff to help you with that. The history of real estate and stuff like that, I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for. Again, that might be something that we can help point you in the direction of, but as far as like specific courses or exam books and exam prep topics,
definitely
we can't do that.
Not our
thing. How do you look up an approved instructor?
Well, the approved providers are listed on our website.
Again, if you go to the homepage here, right?
Yes, under education, you can find approved providers by qualifying education courses that they offer or continuing education. One thing to keep in mind is the instructors, while we do currently approve them, they're not necessarily tied to a specific provider. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely the starting point should be with the provider if you have any questions about the instructor for a course.
Yeah.
Instructors are hired through the providers to teach the classes. So I would start with the provider, but we do have approved providers listed on our website. Do we have instructors? If we do, it's new, but
I think you could,
but not as a
no, you can't
search.
Yeah, you can't search for
filter.
Instructors, specific instructors on our website right now. But again, you can search for providers, and as Denise said, they're usually a good starting point for that. So as far as like getting your education, I would just look at our exam passage rates, ask friends, or if you have a broker that you're going to work with that you trust, I would maybe reach out to them. Mm-hmm. And ask them who they used and who they liked. I think those kinds of resources are great. We just can't, we license those people. I don't think anyone would be happy if we recommended one provider over another. And so we don't give that kind of advice. Just like if a consumer called and asked, help me find a realtor. We couldn't do that either, or a real estate agent. So I would say same thing. So hope that helps. I know it was vague. Where's the app for renewal information? Again, Dimitri, that is available if you go to our homepage. You're going to put in your license information, so your name or license number. And if you're within 90 days of your renewal period, 90 days before your license expires or 6 months after.
Right. That is the renewal period.
That is the renewal period. Sorry. Then that button will appear, that renewal education information button will appear on the page, the results. So this button will appear. It won't show up unless you're within those qualifying times. So I hope that answers your question, Dimitri. And on the old website, you could look up instructors. Yeah, I think I believe that the idea was to eventually add instructors to our license holder search tool. It just is, the information is not necessarily reliable yet, so we haven't turned it on. We just want to make sure that the information is accurate as possible. And you know what, Richard, if you're looking for information about education instructors, I might be able to help you get a list of instructors that we have that are licensed. Also, our data, our high value data sets is what it's called on the website. Within that high value data sets, which is at the foot of this footer of all of our pages on the website, high value data sets right here. If you were to click on that, I would take you to a page that has a full zip file of all of our license holders, and then you can see that we have all of that information there. So you may be able to find that information in that tool. Although I'm not even sure if instructors are involved in that. I'm not sure. So you've tripped us up.
Send us, I would send a message if you're wanting a list of instructors, and we can see, we can actually check with our Director of Education and Examination Services with that division staff and get a more clear answer for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Richard. I probably should have that answer, but I don't. So let's follow up. I'll circle back and I'll put the answer in the comments after this video is done. So that way then everyone that logged in will see the answer. I apologize for not being able to answer that question. But okay, does anyone else have any questions about these tools, other ideas or feedback? Last opportunity. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and wind this up. I want to thank Denise for joining me today.
You're welcome.
She is an invaluable resource of information. Denise and her team were essential in getting these kinds of tools up on the website. And they are a great, hardworking group of people that deserve all the recognition they're getting. These tools are really helpful, we think, for our license holders and the public. And please use them. If you have questions, ideas, thoughts, post the questions here on Facebook, send me an email. Denise is always happy to answer questions too. And we'll definitely circle back with you.
Yeah, I was, going to say that we know what we're looking at when we're rolling out something new like this. So any feedback that you guys, on the other side of it might have will be helpful for us in improving any of the existing tools and in creating any new ones. So we definitely welcome that. But we did have a large team of people working very hard to get this information on the website for you.
We get the glamorous job of being on Facebook Live, but there are lots of people at this agency that work extraordinarily hard to get these tools launched, and we want to give them credit where credit's due.
Yep.
So that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We will be live again next month on a different topic, although I'm not sure what topic we'll have then. I always try to put that information on our Facebook Live events page. So be sure to subscribe to our page and follow us, and I will make sure everyone's well informed. Thank you again, Denise, for joining us.
You.
And bye for now. Oh, wait. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.